thank you for the invitation, Alina, and thank you to all of you for honoring the coaching profession this week, and honoring the coaching profession considering the whole situation. Our hearts are with you, and thank you for inviting me. It's true, as you said, I think our markets are very similar, and we learned quite a lot in the last 3-4 years, especially during the pandemic, when we think the coaching community in Romania at least got stronger. Maybe the pandemic brought us together in a different way than it was before. And now we took quite a lot of lessons, and we hope to develop the chapter further on. So what I prepared for tonight is to share with you a few of our opportunities and challenges, and how we think to approach the local chapter together with the team of volunteers. And I very much hope this will be inspiring for you, or maybe why not, we can think together to develop common projects for coaches who are English speakers in both of our countries, maybe peer coaching, reciprocal peer coaching groups, or some other presentations like that, workshops to offer the opportunity to bring CCEUs for the coaches who want to renew their credentials. So there are a lot of opportunities, and thank you for invitation. I will share my screen. Of course, I very happy to have your questions. You can even interrupt me if I need something to clarify more, or at the end, if you wish, we can have a short session to exchange our ideas. So I just wanted to bring with you some insights of the evolution of the coaching world in our market. Having three main objectives of today. First of all, to offer you the opportunity to understand our challenges and opportunities, because it might be similar, it might be different, but it's a very close benchmark. So we are not Western Europe, we are not a very mature market, we are still developing. So there might be lessons. Second is to offer you examples on how are we supporting actually the development of the coaching profession. There is still a lot of confusion in the market, and we try to make our voice heard through the whole noise. Everybody says it's a coach, no matter the way they develop as a coach. And of course, to share with you some ideas of projects, how we manage and how we succeed, we think, in bringing our members together, because for every chapter, keeping the members together, it is a challenge and an opportunity as well. So ICF Romania right now, these are numbers in March. In March, end of March 2023, we had 286 members. It's a big number considering that 10 years ago when I joined ICF, and in Romania, there were 15 members. And I recall when 1 year later, the chapter has been set. We were very ambitious in hoping for 50 members. So it was an organic growth. Another thing we are proud of is that 64, actually 68%, the last numbers, show that there are credentialed members. Last figures shows 296. So in the last month, we gained a few more. I'm sharing that with you because somehow we are in between a chapter who is still growing and emerging and the well-established chapter. We have chosen to stay still under the coordination of EMEA, former Eastern countries, together with Ukraine and Bulgaria and Hungary, because even if we We aim for 500 members. There is still to go. And we want to learn from more mature chapters, but still, I think we have a lot to share and to build together in a maybe smaller community like ours in EMEA region, where actually I've met Alina. Now, in an emerging market, I'm sure you're not surprised, there is no data. We don't know actually how to stay. In Romania, for example, even if we have around 300 members, we think there are over 1,200 coaches, so 1,200 coaches. The question we ask ourselves is, first of all, what kind of coaches are they? How do they represent the coaching profession? What kind of services do they provide? And what is this meaning for us as coaches who invest quite a lot in their development, in their commitment to the profession? So in 2021, we started and we initiate first study in Romania with PricewaterhouseCoopers. And we discovered some good insights. However, the answers were not in such a big number. We aimed for 150 companies. We had around 60 companies who offered us answers. So that's another challenge in an emerging market, to collect data. And we discovered that actually most of the organizations started adopting coaching activities after 2017. So even there are coaches in the market, like myself, for example, with around 13, 14 years experience. There are some colleagues with even more experience, around 18 years in the market. Actually, most of the companies started very soon. So it's still new. The conclusion we took is that no matter how well developed is the group of coaches or professional we say or perceive is the group of coaches, there is still a lot of work to do in educating the market around very simple stuff, because most of the people do not really understand what the coaching profession is, why we call it a profession, what a standard is, and how to contract professional coaching services. So that was one of the funding. And it helps us to focus, let's say, our attention on educating at the right level, because sometimes we discover that we are talking a kind of language that is not understood from our beneficiaries at the end. The same study showed us that still the coaching is addressed to top management. This is good news, because every change in big companies at least starts from the top. So if we get access in the boardroom, and if we get access at the top management, senior management of the company, they might be ambassadors, and they might push coaching downwards in the organization. Still, there is another good news is that there is huge potential, because more and more companies start to offer coaching at a lower level in the organization. And there is a lot of room to work for all the credentialed coaches. So there is a perception pretty strong in the market that at top level management, you need to work with very experienced coaches, with coaches that understand very much the market or the industry, or they have a strong business preparation, which is true, especially in executive coaching. But still, we don't want this perception to become a barrier for entrance for a lot of ACC or PCC coaches who are very well prepared and very dedicated to the profession. So again, that was a good insight for us in Romania, and it was the first time we had these numbers. Another interesting information, most of the coaching is individual. So again, good news and less good news. Good news is that when you work one-to-one, our capacity to encourage coaches to go towards a certification, because there is room for development and there is room for business and there is a lot of profession, it's something true. And in the ICF Romania chapter, we are constantly investing in encouraging all the coaches to advance. Those who are not accredited yet to go for it, to get their ACC, the sooner the better. And for the others to renew their certification and continually invest in them. On the other hand, team coaching, which is now, let's say, the star, the princess on the market, starts to develop. This is again a good news because shows the potential and the openness of the companies. However, there are not so many coaches with a strong accreditation on team coaching. And for those of you who have been in a process to develop yourself as a team coach, you know that even the principle of coaching is similar. Again, in the companies, there is a lot of confusion on what team coaching is compared to other ways to develop a team, for example, team building or team development or facilitation. So we still need to develop and to invest the group of coaches with a strong preparation in team coaching. So there is potential here as well. Now, what else have we found? And it was for us a good source of structuring, let's say, our focus and abilities. Most of the coaches are external. However, the number of coaches, internal coaches, is increasing. And again, there is an open door. Most of the internal coaches are focusing on lower level in the organization, in the hierarchy. And there is still a strong preference for people to work with, for companies to work with external coaches at the higher level of the organization. So it becomes also very important that the coach would have an accreditation. For us, that was maybe one of the most important insights, because once the market starts to appreciate, and including their calls for offers, for quotations, this condition for a coach to be accredited by ICF, this is, how to say, gives us a stronger voice in the market. Of course, ICF is not the only international professional federation, how to say, association of coaches in the market. But we don't want to look at EMCC, for example, with competitive eyes. We simply want to give the message that working with coaches who have an accreditation, it's wise for the company because it's a guarantee for the results. So that was a very important project for us. The results came out last year. And since then, I would not say that based on this study, our strategy has changed. However, we have looked more closely on how to support and how to encourage our coaches in joining ICF, in staying in ICF, and in contributing in ICF Romania. From the 286 members, I want to share with you that we have a group of volunteers of 38. Last year it was 42. So around 20% of our coaches choose to come and be. And this is great because it's truly a school of working as a team and to develop their leadership skills. And coaches with leadership skills are not only, I think, better coaches, but they can penetrate easier, let's say, in the coaching market. Now, as you all know, this new representation of ICF strategy came out at the beginning of this year. And honestly speaking, we find it stronger, or we resonate, let's say, strongly with it. Not that we haven't resonated with the previous strategy, but for us, what meant a lot was that we see the very clear articulation of member focused. We need to be member focused. Now, why it's so important to be member focused? As you see, we have so many projects and initiatives, and I speak for myself right now. It's being a volunteer in ICF Romania is like a second job, and sometimes volunteers are really putting on the first place our activity as volunteers, and maybe they left behind sometime their own practice, or they make time for ICF projects first and then focus on something they might do to promote their business or their practice and so on. So being member focused provides us with the chance to be more effective, to choose what really matters to do for the profession and for the members. And we had in March a meeting with the whole group of volunteers, and we really decided, okay, what do we need to do and what can we choose not to do? Because supporting the profession and being effective and efficient in the same time doesn't mean to do volumes of activities and putting effort without a limit. It's about choosing carefully our resources and our initiatives in order to build a legacy. So our main focus right now is to leave after this year and maybe after the next year, the mandate of the future president, a strong organization. So being member focused, having a strong organization and creating a strong link with the market, this is exactly what we have in mind. And we created a kind of credo. We said we believe that this is a place to lead. We believe that it's our mission to contribute to the coaching profession. We believe that it's our role to build a strong organization, and we take that challenge. And that was, how to say, a definition given by the whole team of volunteers, and I share with you that I'm very proud about it. Now, how do we, and maybe these are the best practices I want to share. So of course, we have the monthly meetups. This is a very important moment because every month, honestly, we find something new from the members. And sometimes we are happy about it. Sometimes you might get frustrated because even if you're doing so many things, you're still not visible. So one of the very important challenges we face, I don't know your experience, is that there is a lot of noise in the market, a lot of noise in the digital, in the social media. So no matter how much you're communicating on how many channels, it seems that sometimes you're not close enough to all the members. They are giving us feedback. Meetups are usually pretty funny meetings, network meetings. We receive their feedback, we receive feed forward. Sometimes you enjoy it, sometimes you simply need to take it. 2 years ago, we started, and that's why I mentioned before, we started a project of practice sessions. At the beginning, it was focused for everybody. We invited all our mentor coaches, registered mentor coaches with ICF to be volunteers. We've been happy to receive their contribution. But this year, we've learned from the first two presentations that we need to be let's say, more focused on different target groups. So this year, the practice session project is dedicated differently for those who want to get the accreditation and to help them familiarize a little bit with the CKA, with what it means to sit the exam, and why accreditation is so important. For ACC to PCC, of course, we focus much more on the competencies, and there are very specific competency-based practice sessions with CCEUs. And again, everything is done voluntarily by the mentor coaches. And this year, we want to introduce a couple of sessions for the PCCs who want to access the exam for MCC. It won't be mentoring as such. We want to do more sharing. So to answer their questions, what was for us, what was difficult, how did we go through the whole process of personal transformation and personal learning and so on. Also this year, many times coaches come and ask us, we need to understand how to do business. Many of them are freelance, some of them are attached to different companies, but it's a pretty lonely profession. So we want to introduce Business Lab for starting this year. It means we will invite people from different industries, entrepreneurs, people who are able to teach a little bit of digital, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of personal brand. So just to have very small sessions of sharing Q&A and so on to give a stronger, let's say, confidence of every coach, no matter the credential, to start and to dare to go on the market. Of course, the blog, everybody's invited to write. However, this year, because we wanted to model some behaviors, we have this project called Masterful. So we invited we have now in Romania 13 MCCs, and everybody is writing 2 or 3 articles per year. So every couple of weeks, you will find on our blog an article written by an MCC in Romania. We are sharing best practices. We are sharing some case studies. We want to inspire and to model this behavior to contribute in the coaching community. Of course, the blog is open for everybody. We have a monthly newsletter. Sometimes it's 2 times per month. And the podcast, it is in Romanian. You may find it also on ICF Global podcast section. For those of you, maybe you have members speaking Romanian language. There are 15 episodes until now. And again, they are fully made by the volunteers. 1 year ago, we started again face-to-face events in the local hubs. As we said, we had to choose. Last year, we had 5 hubs. Now, this year, there are only 4. It depends very much on the capacity and the willingness of the member to support us to organize ourselves locally. And of course, the partners event. Now, here is a challenge with partnering. We look for partnering in the coaching schools, of course, for the tools providers. During the pandemic, we had a lot of partners because in the digital, fully digital life, when everybody was working from home, all these partners find very useful to to use ICF Romania channels to bring out their messages. Now everybody wants face-to-face again. So their efforts and their attention is somehow divested in different areas. So it is a little bit of challenging now to find partners, business partners, to bring some money in the chapter, because you may imagine all these activities sometimes need financing. And of course, we've been part of Coach IT. That was a European project to enhance the digital skills of our coaches. And co-branded ICF events, again, we try to invite coaches or schools to do different kind of events. For members, they are for free. For non-members, we are trying to cash in some money. So you see, on one hand, there is a lot of member focus, and we need to think with this question in our mind. Whatever we do we serve our members or not? But in the same time, we need to have in mind that in order to organize all this, we need to be a strong organization, and it's not a company. You don't have clients. You have some financing from our, what's coming back from ICF Global, but still you need to build a legacy. So somehow after your mandate of 1 year, and then, for example, the board is changing, what are you leaving behind? So we understood in the last 3 years that we cannot think anymore with the head of somebody who, based only on our passion and enthusiasm, are going there to ICF to do some volunteering work. Passion and dedication are, gold mine. However, we really need to lead this organization. And I would say we are very lucky, together with my colleagues. It's quite a strong team. Now we received this feedback from the members, and also we received the feedback from ICF Global, and we consider that to be more close to the business environment, and not only to the organizations that might really show that the coaching profession gets stronger in Romania. So, and this is the empowerment pillar. And we haven't thought in the last 3 years at this area from this perspective of the empowerment. But when we saw this year this title of empowering everybody who is involved in the process and the profession of coaching, we kind of had a aha moment. We said, yes, but actually this is giving us power, and not only. So let's put everything we do, the big projects that create the connection between us and the market, under this umbrella of empowering people. And what you see here, it's a picture we had this year in March, our annual conference. And we decided last year not to be a coaching conference anymore, but to be a coaching and leadership conference every year, an annual international coaching and leadership. And only this statement that we want to have an international coaching and leadership conference, I have to say, changed completely the thinking, the mindset on how do we build the whole idea of the conference, because it helps us, first of all, to explain coaching, to show what coaching is, and to think starting really from the market need. Because once you have the leaders in the room, and this year we had 270 participants face-to-face, out of them, 180 have been from business. So only 90-something members could participate, especially those who are based in Bucharest, because it was a face-to-face. And all the rest have been from business. So we need to find the right messages. We need to find the right language. We need to find the right inspiration to connect with people if we want the market to say yes. The place to ask for professional coaching is ICF Romania and the members. So this is about the conference. This week we have ICW, and when I say here diversity, of course during the pandemic everything has been online. But last year we made a decision. Last year we said we need to have diversity. So it's not only pro bono coaching. Last year we had pro bono for a cause. We have chosen a foundation who is supporting Ukrainian children in Romania to be integrated in schools. And last year, ICF Romania collected donations for this foundation. So we very much hope we made a little bit of impact. So we bring in a cause, we bring in the idea that pro bono is not for free. People should give something in return. We had online workshops, and also we started last year with face-to-face workshops, and that was a very successful recipe. So this year we decided to do the same. This year we want to do the Prism Awards. For those of you who know what Prism Awards is to celebrate companies who are investing in coaching and are known for coaching cultures, and to focus much more on partnerships. So it's not, somehow we understood that having good, strong relationships with the schools is very important. However, we need to make clear for the schools that our role is not to, how to say, to promote them because they are commercial schools. Our role is to offer to our members as much information or access to resources as possible. So if they want to be close to the members, we create bridges. However, this is not a transactional relationship. And that's a very strong learning for us as well, because partnership, of course, we need some funding, but it's not transactional, and it's very difficult to build relationships like that. And we need coaches who are mature enough and dedicated enough and well respected in the market to be able to have this kind of relationships. A new partnership we are very proud of, we started this year, is with the Romanian HR Club, Human Resources Club. This is a very strong organization. It has almost 15 years. I'm one of the founders as well, but this is not the point. The point is that HR Club became the organization of HR managers and directors in Romania. They are also offering different certifications in HR management, and they set the standard. So it's very important to have at the table the main stakeholders for our members, because especially in the corporate world or in the entrepreneurial world, coaching, the door for coaching in the company is through HR. And if HR managers understand how to contract, how to work with a coach, how to read the ethical coach of the profession. So we want them to know what coaching is and what is the code of ethics as much as we want the members to know all that. So more or less, this is in terms of member focus and empowerment. Now, what became very important for us, and I think we did it well, is to have a succession planning in place. It has been proven very smart and very wise. Last year, we had our first succession planning well discussed and developed. And this year, when ICF coaching year starts 1st of April, we had the full board and full team of volunteers ready to meet on the 25th of March. So we really started full speed to prepare ICW. And how I feel it, and I share that with you, is that compared to last year and 2 years ago, when it was a huge effort, this year everything is going smooth. So we learned from the last 3 years that if we organize ourselves to have, for example, elections ready in January, to have the board, the future board ready in February, to have everybody recruited for the teams in March, we really can start the ICF year preparing ICW without that kind of, huge effort that is sometimes demotivating members, and we reduce very much the risk to lose the volunteers after ICW when everybody is really, really tired. We aim to do a governance audit to understand how we work. So that's something new for us as well. And we are also looking, how do we work as a board? We decided to invite our ex-president, past president, to be our team coach. So to act also as a team coach for the board of directors and to give us feedback and guide us as well. Okay, I'm looking at the timing. I still have few minutes. Things might look very nice and sparkling when I'm talking about them. I hope I share with you my passion, but also there are a few challenges. As I said before, sometimes it's very difficult, no matter how many projects you have, to stay close to the members. We are constantly wondering how to get their attention constantly, because we have members groups, we have social media, we have newsletters, we have dedicated emails and so on. We didn't discover yet the recipe. And I think this is a challenge for every chapter. You cannot please everybody. So we kind of decided that 80-20 rule should apply. So we need to put 20% of our efforts where the 80% of the results are coming. So what most probably we'll do in a more effective way, I hope this year, is to do the member survey. So every year we had a member survey. Somehow, I don't know, around a third of the members are answering. So this is a constant challenge. Then another challenge, and we are focusing on that, is to inspire. Every single volunteer, it's a role model, because volunteers are exposed. We are investing quite a lot, and now we have 2 workshops on ethical marketing. Our ethical counselor is very passionate about the subject. So sometimes it's challenging for volunteers to be a volunteer of ICF and somehow not to focus on their own marketing. We are not asking anybody to quit personal branding. However, we need to make sure that we respect the guidelines, and we are really a role model of ethics every day. So why it's so important? Because in a market with so much confusion, we need to work to get more clarity. So we want the market to understand that being a coach requires a lot of personal commitment and dedication. And it's a lot of learning, and there are hundreds of hours invested and a lot of personal budgets and all the exams and accreditations. This is something that shows commitment and professionalism. And not everybody who talks about themselves as a coach made this commitment. So remaining ethical, being a role model, it's a way to reduce confusion on the market and show the market what professional coaching means. And again, a challenge is to keep a good balance of resources. Sometimes volunteers are too enthusiastic and we tend to say, yes, 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 we do this and this and that. And we discover that resources are not always enough. And also to put the difficult topics on the table. Having a volunteering team, it's always a team under forming, storming. After 1 year of working together, you perform. So every time there are new volunteers coming, and sometimes, people don't know each other well, they are not getting along each other all the time. So we need to take the courage, and with direct communication and with good listening and with full of respect, to put difficult topics on the table when they appear. And that might be a challenge. So more or less, this is the volunteers team who organized the conference in 1st of March, 1st and 2nd of March. And to share with you the last, let's say, best practices, that's a very important one. We need to understand that the members need to be taken as where they are in their professional life cycle, and to build something dedicated to them. So the needs of the coaches might be different, and if somebody is not recognizing themselves in the initiatives, their focus is somewhere else. The second learning is we need to maintain a diverse and inclusive community. It's very easy to exclude somebody. So when we say we prepare something for PCCs or for ACCs, we need to make sure that we are doing that in such a way not to exclude for those who are not belonging to this group. Or if we are doing something for people in Bucharest, for example, where is the largest community, we are not doing something that is not accessible to someone else. So that's why, for example, we keep doing things online quite a lot in order to give people access from the whole country. Romania is not so big like Ukraine, but still it's a big country. And to offer the possibility to contribute. So somehow we learned that there is this tendency, volunteers to do it all. And the more you involve the members, the more closer they are. So that's why actually together with the mentor coaches and the supervisors and some other volunteers for different things, we sometimes are a group of 50 volunteers. Otherwise, people wait to receive something, and if what they receive is not exactly what they expect, they tend to be unhappy. So please come in, contribute, and everybody will be happy. What else? Ethics is more and more important. So as I said, we invest quite a lot and we promote it proactively. We educate the market. So it's not enough the coaches to respect the code of ethics. The market should be aware about the code of ethics. And we are trying to explain, everybody's encouraged to attach to the contract they have with their clients, the code of ethics, and to explain why we are doing things in a certain way. And another important lesson is we need to build bridges, to give first and expect second. That's a mindset. And yes, there is a huge potential out there. There is a huge potential. And we have such a great opportunity to receive all sorts of resources from ICF Global. Sometimes we learn that we are not using properly all the resources. And everybody is a winner at the end if we put all our efforts in it. And I will close showing you with pride that last week on the 3rd of May, Romania has been awarded with the recognition of excellence. And we were looking for that. So actually it was one of the objectives. You never know when you get it. And we discussed first about that 2 years ago, and this year came out. So I would be very grateful and to my colleagues and to all our members. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share all this with you. So that was my sharing of this evening. I will stop sharing and I will invite you for questions or comments.
Hola. Good evening, Madi. Good evening, everyone. Madi, thank you a lot for this presentation and for sharing your experience. It is so valuable, and I saw so many perfect solutions that could be like took by us some tools and some of experience that could help our chapter to develop. My name is Olga Vasilets, and I'm head of Marketing and Communication Committee at ICF Ukraine Charter Chapter. Yeah, and I have a question to you about marketing and communication. How actually it is arranged in your chapter? How do you process it, and how do you what probably some kind of models you took in your chapter? Could you share, please?
Yes, thank you for your questions. The team in the communication department, it's a communication and PR department, is a group of 4. What we are lucky to have is we have a collaborator for 3 years for now. She's a student, she's based in Brussels, she's Romanian. And she's doing for us all the graphic that we use in communicating in social media. And I'm saying that we are lucky because, first of all, we found a very flexible person, and we managed somehow the relationship to become a stable relationship because she got to know us very well as an organization, and she understood and integrated for herself in her work all the guidelines from ICF Global. So that's one thing. If you can find somebody like a student who is not very expensive and you can integrate it in your budget, because at the end of the day, budget is very important. So we cannot afford to buy services from a digital agency. That's one thing. And sometimes, even if 1 year you have somebody, I don't know, good enough in working in Canva, for example, to do on your own something, you might well discover that next year the volunteer is not available anymore. So that was something that was very important for us. Secondly, we had different experiences. We learned that we need to design a strategy. So when I say that, I say we had to decide what are we putting focus on in communicating. In the last couple of years, it was a lot of communication around ICW and the conference, of course, and a lot of communication around the online meetings, especially those organized with partners. However, we realized when working for the report, annual report, that actually we haven't had any campaign, renewal campaign or awareness campaign. So why? Because we've been very focused on operational stuff, on things that are very tangible. And now we stepped back and we said, okay, we need to have a different strategy. So what we did this year was to work in an integrated calendar. So simply we worked with a 52 weeks calendar, April to April, and we were trying to populate it with everything we think we should communicate around. ICW, the conference, we placed it in boxes, you know. We tried to make a calendar for events. We tried to see, okay, are there any other important moments, milestones during the year? Okay, what do we want to communicate as a campaign, full year? For example, renew your credential, renew your membership, become a volunteer. Become a volunteer in the past was something we've been focusing on in January, February. Now we have a campaign. All year long we are recruiting volunteers because we are recruiting project-based, and this is giving much more sense to those who are coming. So actually communication and the marketing of our activities, it's about everything. So somehow if you are imagining the chapter like a pyramid, the marketing and communication is the baseline for this pyramid. So now let's see how it works. We feel it's a great improvement. We also are lucky to have a communication director, and if it would be useful for you, we can put you in contact. She is a very good communicator. So you need somebody to enjoy being on social media. That's it.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a comment here. I need to read it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your congratulations. I want to return the congratulations. Really, you are actually running the chapter in difficult conditions, I suppose. And yes, this is even more on whatever we can do, being here safe at home and not having anything from what's happening in Ukraine. So thank you, but you deserve more.
Дякую, Маді. Микола, допоможіть, будь ласка, я працюю із першої 30, вже втомилася і зараз дозволю.
I'm working from 1:30. I will speak in Ukrainian. So, Madi, okay, I will speak now in Ukrainian, Madi. Please, I have great thanks that Madi is in our space, and also shared the experience, how to develop the chapter. And when Madi spoke of development of projects, organizational development, institutional development, how do you work with succession, and how do you work with preparation of the next leadership team, also the matter of diversity. I saw that structure-wise, you're doing everything in line with a report about the work of the chapter. And as a culmination of that, you have received the recognition. And this is how we are planning our work of all of the 5 committees. And we are also keeping our focus, all of the activities. Those are our KPIs, our framework of our annual work, of where we move. Therefore, the experience that you shared was very timely for us, and it was priceless. I would like to thank you for that, and my congratulations on the occasion of receiving of this well-deserved award. Also, what I would like to propose, of course, development of partnership, understanding where we can support each other. We have our own unique experience because we are working under such conditions that none of the chapters has worked for 25 years. Also, we have a lot to share, and we shall be happy to do that. Last week, I had a meeting with the president of ICF Turkey, and he proposed that we need to make continental conferences and share the experience of chapters, that we could sooner implement our mission of every chapter, of the management teams that govern, that implement the strategy of a chapter. And when we unite our efforts, we shall implement the mission of ICF Global sooner. Therefore, I'm in favor of development of powerful partnership, sharing the experience and reinforcing each other, strengthening each other. I would like to thank you for this valuable presentation. Personally, I was inspired of quite many things, by quite many things. There are a lot of things we could also integrate. Quite many things have been integrated already. We are implementing similar projects. We also have similar stories, and we unite quite many volunteers. So we are now operating in all corners of the world. We are on the remote. Our colleges are on all the continents. And online, we implement large, powerful projects to support Ukrainian society. And of course, the same challenges that were discussed. Thank you for sharing not only success stories, also showing the challenges that you are facing. And we also have to do with those challenges because our markets are similar. As I understood, you have similar challenges. And in the same way, we are looking for solutions for the same challenges that we are facing. Thank you very much indeed. Maybe the colleagues would like to add some words of gratitude. Larissa is willing to do so. I give the floor to Larissa Homans, the president ICF Ukraine 2019-2020.
Thank you.
Yeah. Madi, I even cannot describe what I was feeling and what I was thinking about when I was listening to your presentation, because almost every sentence was resonating. Yeah. So the challenges you were sharing and your achievements are so impressive. We are quite big chapter, yeah, but it's not so big. But we are growing so fast, and we are growing in very challenging times. And I recalled the experience when we started forming the chapter, and when you said that about the volunteering energy and passion and commitment and dedication. Absolutely, this is how the community can be built. But to have stable community, it's necessary to develop the system and the management system and the government and everything in place, and then to be able, it's possible to move forward. It's possible. It's possible to accomplish the goals, but the goals are very ambitious. And I'm very excited that you are here and you shared, because I think it's priceless lessons for us. And also know that you were helping the Ukrainian communities in your country through the pro bono coaching. When you mentioned that pro bono coaching is not free, pro bono coaching is also priceless investment, and that investment should keep working, should keep bringing the results, the impact for those who need it. So it's really great. Thank you very much. Deep gratitude. And having a chance, Oliver Selets and I are the co-host of the Coaches Stand with Ukraine podcast. And we are inviting you to speak and to share and to share your experience, and also to tell more how you were helping organizations and Ukrainian communities in your country. So let's stay in touch.
Yes, let's stay in touch. Listening to you, what crossed my mind is maybe we can think of an online regional conference for sharing. That's one point. Secondly, yes, please come to us with questions. We'll be happy to share. And also for English speakers, English-speaking coaches, we may try to do some exchange of experience and everything else. And I also wish you success with this International Coaching Week. I'm sure you have more for this week. And you're very much welcome to contribute in Romania as well. Thank you. I don't know how are we closing that, so I will leave you, Alina, to tell me how to resume our meeting.
Дякую, Маді, за неперевершене закриття нашого першого дня тижня коучингу.
Thank you very much. Thank you for wonderful closure of our first day with a lot of energy, a lot of inspiring results. And we can, as we can see, you really care of what you're doing. And you really responded when we implement big social projects and we do what we love to do. We sometimes forget that we have our own commercial projects because we are going into the history of creating the future. We are going into the history of development of what will change the world for the better. And I'm really grateful for this example. You inspire us because we follow the same way. Thank you for your time. I wish you a good coaching week. We stay in touch. I hope that today's communication is only a beginning of our partnership in the coming future between the chapters. Thank you. All the best.